Good morning, stamping friends. How is everyone doing? And Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're having a good year so far. All I can say is 2024 has got to be a better year for us. We had just an interesting December. Number one, we had two deaths of people that we know. One is my friend and one of my teammates. She passed away, and my nephew actually died on the same day that she did. So I actually had two funerals to go to, one in Minnesota and then the other one was local here. So that was just a little bit before Christmas. And then after Christmas, our son was in a car accident. Oh my goodness. Our family has never experienced anything like that. He is okay. Thank you, God. It could have been worse, but he is still, dealing with the aftermath. And so he has to have an MRI on both of his knees, but he is alive and he'll be able to go back to school and stuff. But he was a passenger in his friend's car. But that is scary stuff to go through. So anyway, I'm just ready to kick off this year and have a fresh new start. And so the project I'm going to share with you today is actually from the bundle that we are using for my online card club. I'm really excited for the coming year and especially the new spring catalog that we're in, plus throw in celebration with it. So we are going to be using the Be My Valentine bundle. It's so adorable. And so I'm going to share a card with you. Now this card will not be in your online card club, but it's just another example of a card that you could make if you have this bundle. And so I encourage you to check out my online card club. If you get tired of just, thinking of your own ideas and cutting everything out, I do all that work for you. So this is a fast and easier way for you to get a little bit of the product. You'll get $20 worth of product in the mail to you, plus 8 card kits. So it's really a great deal, and shipping is included in this. So I'll be sure and put the link in there. Now the deadline for the Be My Valentine bundle is January 10th. And after that, it cuts off for that month. If you order, or if you sign up after January 10th, it'll roll over to February then, because I have to have a cutoff time where I order and start cutting and stuff. So the 10th of every month is always the deadline. Now, if you do sign up, it is a recurring payment, so you don't have to keep remembering, okay, when do I need to do this? And the other thing is, if you try it and you don't want to continue, you can easily just stop your payment. And then it won't be that recurring payment. So it's really easy. All right, let me turn the camera around and we will get started on today's project. Thank you. Before we get started with our project today, I thought I might as well talk about our glass mat that we have available. Now, you guys, this is free if you sign up to be a demonstrator. In other words, buy the starter kit, which is filled with any product you would like from any current catalog. I absolutely love this, and I'm going to show you how it works. The nice thing about this is you can write on this, and I might want to sometime write my host code here, and you just have to use what do you call them, dry erase markers. And so I will put this up here since I'm showing you E6MA3QXC is my host code right now. If you ever try the host code and it doesn't work, that means you probably saw the video after it expired, but I always have my current host code on the right side of my blog. And so the advantage of using the host code, and if your order is over $50, you will receive Stampin' Up! Product from me as a little gift and also a thank you card. So anyway, then to erase it, I'll just show you this little chamois that isn't quite like our other chamois, but it kind of works the same way. You just have to get it wet. It's really thin and soft, and then it just easily wipes off like that. So let me remake my C here, but that's how that works. And it's really nice also because it has the measurements down the left and bottom side here, imperial, and then on the top and right we have metric. So it's just really nice to not to always have my grid paper out and it'll get wrecked after so much time, throw it away, get another one. So this one I just clean off, and I use this every time I stamp, so it's really nice. And if you're doing your blending brush and you want to blend, you don't have to put paper under it, you just wipe the excess off that goes off the paper. It's just really nice. All right, so to get to our project, actually I started it a little bit because I started doing it. I was going to make it anyway, and then I thought, oh my goodness, why don't I do a video on this? So I stopped what I was doing, and then I'll just continue where I'm at. I didn't get too far into it. But first of all, we are going to be using the Be My Valentine suite, which is part of my online card club that I talked about earlier. And this is what the designer series paper looks like. I love this palette of colors. Aren't they fun to work with? Just bright and cheery and great for Valentine's Day or even spring and into the summer. And I love that how they do the printed side that have figures on them. The opposite side is a little more, easy to work with and not so busy. So you have a more subtle pattern on the back side. So that's what I love about our paper. All right, so what I did was I took a piece of Daffodil Delight and I cut it 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and then I scored it in half on the long side at 4.25. Use your bone folder to make it a crisp fold there. And then I took that cute DSP that I just showed you and I cut it 5.25 by 4. Now this second layer is just 4 by 3 and it's just kind of the check pattern. And so that's about as far as I got. Oh, I guess I did one more step here. I'll show you. All right, so once you're done with that, we'll set that aside. And by the way, all this is flat. We're gonna raise it up with dimensionals on some other things later. Okay, then what I did was I took a, I gotta measure this again. I already die cut it, but I'll show you what the measurement was. It is, I think it's 4 by 3 3/8. Here I'm measuring it with a ruler and I could just go down here and do this. So I'm still not used to using this. And then what I did was I took the Nestled Essentials dies and I cut this out, and you get a few of these shapes, the rectangular with the rounded corner. So to give you an idea of the size I chose, this is about 3 by 2.25. Oh, I love that I don't have to have my ruler here anymore. All right, now what we want to do is cut this out, and then we want to make the outside corners match the rounded corners here. Now, one way that you can do that is by just grabbing a pencil and making a line where the corner is, or maybe you have an old corner rounder in your stash and you can just use that. I'm OCD when it comes to matching things, so I wanted my corner to round the same, because not all corner rounders, you know, some take just the end off and some are a little bit more rounded. And so to make this fast, I'm not even going to trace it. I'm just going to set it up to it, and I just want to match the same rounded corner that is from the die that was cut out once I die cut this out. So we aren't even going to use that centerpiece, but I'll use it on scraps for something else. I'm not going to throw it, but we're only after the outside piece. So we have kind of a, whoops, it's hard to see because it's tone on tone here. We're going to have a double rounded rectangle, and it kind of looks like a frame. All right, now once you're done with that, you can set this piece that I told you we wouldn't be needing and set that aside. Okay, now the next part of this is we are going to do a little bit of embossing. So let me grab the stamp that we're going to use. This is what the stamp set looks like. And we are going to use the one that says Be Mine. And I see that, oh, I know, I have it in a different place. We're going to use this one, and we are going to use Versamark ink, which I have right here, and we are going to emboss it in gold embossing powder. So actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this. I guess I can do this in front of you. A Versamark ink pad is just clear, and the best way for me to describe it is it's more goopy than a normal one. And let's see if I can center this while I'm standing up here. And then we're just going to sprinkle the embossing powder. I'm just going to put a little sheet to catch the embossing powder. And like I said, we're going to use gold. Whoops. Just sprinkle that on there and tap it off. And then I'm going to emboss this, and I will be right back. So this is what it looks like when it's done. All right, now we're going to set that aside, and we are going to take a piece of Smoky Slate cardstock. And this one is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then I'm going to take the B stamp. Now, I know Stampin' Up! Does not sell these anymore. This is called the Stamparatus that we used to have, but I still use it. I love it. So I know since we don't sell it, if in case you don't have one and like it, you can still go online and find it under a different name. But most people that love this probably purchased it already, but I'm just still going to show you. You can do this just by putting them on acrylic blocks and then stamping, but I don't know, sometimes when you make a bunch of things, you just don't even want to try to line it up and stuff. So once I got it down, the positioning of it, then it was just easier to do it with this little gadget. All right, so let me figure out where I want my, let me turn this. I gotta figure out where I want my bee to go. So I'm first gonna take my little chamois and wipe this off, because we used that at class today and we used yellow, or I guess we used the same color, but I just wanna wipe it off. All right, let me move the magnets. So I'm gonna place this according to where I want the bee to fall. And let's see, I don't want it up quite that high. Let's go maybe about a little bit higher. About right there. All right, so I'm gonna put my magnets down because this is where I want it to go. And the reason this is nice is because once you stamp it, if you need a second try, you can easily do that. We are gonna use smoky slate. I know that looks like a black and white TV that we would do smoky slate for the bee on gray paper. What is going on here? You will soon find out. All right, so there's our bee. Then we are gonna take basic gray, which is the next darker shade, and we're gonna do his stripes in that and his cute little face on there. Okay, now that's all we're gonna use on this machine. Let me get this out of the way. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is put antennas on him, and I have to giggle because when I did my class, I did not think bees had antennas, and some of the gals were putting antennas on there, and I said, well, I think that's for if you use it as a butterfly. And they said, no, Lori, bees have antennas. So I had to Google it, and they were right. Bees do have antennas. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. So we're gonna get basic gray out again. You know what, you don't have to put antennas on if you don't want to, but now that I know they really do. Okay, and I gotta stand so I can see. I probably would have put this on my stamparatus as well. The next thing we're gonna do is make his little, buzzing, what do you call it, a buzzing look. Just adding a little bit of the tail of him flying like that. And then we're gonna add a little sentiment, and I chose love you because I'll probably give this to my husband if he doesn't see it before then. And then also because it's a small word and I don't wanna use up a lot of space here. And the last thing we need to do is put his wings on. So I'm just gonna put these right up here like that. And all these were smoky slate except for the stripes and this little antenna. Okay, and those were basic gray. All right, now what we're gonna do is we are going to tape this to the back of our, what does it look like? Did you guess an Etch-a-Sketch? That's what it is. So what we're gonna do is we want the frame to be popped out from here. So we are gonna grab mini dimensionals, and this is when your take your pick tool comes, whoops, has a spatula end and a pointed end. This comes in handy. And we're just gonna put them in the four corners like this. Did you guys play with an Etch-a-Sketch when you were little? I did not have one. There were so many cool toys that I did not have as a kid, but when I babysat, they had them. So I would play with these toys after I was in my teens and play with all the things I didn't get. The other thing I didn't get when I was little that I always wanted was a easy bake oven. So I was deprived that I couldn't bake my cupcakes under a light bulb. All right, so we just want to kind of center this as well as you can, making sure you don't see the gray behind it, so it's popped up. Make sure your sentiment is visible. And then what we're gonna do is grab our card front that we already made, and we're gonna adhere this. And this time I'm gonna put larger dimensionals. And if you have black dimensionals, I don't know if you knew that we sell these, but when you use darker cardstock, especially black, you can use black dimensionals, and these are really nice because they come, you get large dimensionals and you get the small ones in black as well. And so it's just kind of a way to get the darker color, and then you also get both sizes in one package. So that's a cool deal. All right, 4 should do it. And then when we're done with this, there's a few little extra things I want to do. I'll show you just to embellish it a little bit more. All right, so once that's taken off, we're gonna put this on the card front, and I'm gonna kind of tilt it the other way a little bit so that we can see more of the check underneath it. If you go straight, you can barely see it. So I'm gonna tilt it a little bit more and just try to make it symmetrical again, like that. Now, it's still not a completed Etch-a-Sketch because it is missing the little knobs to, you know, that you turn the handle on the Etch-a-Sketch. So let me grab some white paper. This is just white cardstock. And what's nice about this bundle is you get this punch that you can punch out the bee, then this can be his wings, or maybe you want to make Valentine's and just put hearts all over. And also, let me show you this. So this heart lines up with this and the heart, but the bee wings as well. And the tiny heart actually lines up with the antenna if you wanted to pop that or do it separately, and if you're not stamping on that. All right, so we are just gonna make 2 of these small hearts. 1, 2. And then we're gonna grab our mini dimensionals again. And we're just gonna pop 1 on each one, just the right size so that you don't see anything on top, so that the dimensional doesn't peek through on the other side. And now we're just gonna put this is an optical illusion because it's at an angle. I wanna make sure it's straight. Whoops, up a little bit. There's 1, and then just make this one, after you take the back off, symmetrical. So here you go. And one of my downline told me she gave this to her one of her grandkids and gave an Etch-a-Sketch with the gift. I think it was birthday, but you could do this for a Valentine gift for a kid or a teen. Like I told you, I played with it my teen years. And then if you want, you can, put whatever you want inside. I would cut a 5 1/4 by 4 inch inside, and then just put your sentiment. You could maybe put that bee thing. What do you call this? Like the trail of the bee. So anyway, that's what the card looks like, and I hope you enjoyed that. It was super simple, and if there's anything that you'd like, again, I would encourage you to use my Stampin' Up! Website along with the host code, and I will send you a gift and a thank you card. And also, don't forget to sign up for my January online card club. The deadline on that is January 10th, so that's coming up soon. Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.